All right, hello everyone. Welcome to the first episode of Stream Roulette with myself and Steph Broadbridge. How are you, Steph?
Oh, yeah, so good. How are you?
Yeah, good, great. So what are we doing here? What is this podcast?
Well, you pitched it to me and I was like, yep, that sounds funny.
So it's all on me then,
it's all
it goes
on
bad.
you. If it goes badly, I'm taking no responsibility.
Okay.
But I love the idea. So the idea is that you've got the Netflix shuffle button.
It used to be called Shuffle.
Yeah.
But no, they changed it now to Play Something.
Oh.
So there's just like a random button on the streaming services.
Yeah, and then you press it because society doesn't know what it wants anymore, and so the computers are deciding for us.
Yeah, pretty much. And I just got sick of it. And it's like, all right, people do podcasts about shows they want to watch. And it's like, well, let's see what happens if they throw some stuff at us that we wouldn't watch.
Yeah.
Or we had no intention of watching.
And we started a new Netflix account, so it's completely clean.
There's no influence there. I've got one on my PlayStation that has the name Podcast. Initially, we were going to do what? I mean, we'll just see how many shows we get through because we picked 3, didn't we?
Yeah, and that was a lot.
Well, we didn't pick 3, sorry. 3 were suggested to us. 3 were suggested to us that we watched.
These are our 3 favourite shows.
No, and what was the first one that came up? Show number 1 that we came up with?
I think the first one was Young Sheldon.
Young Sheldon, and that's a spin-off of How I Met Your Mother, right?
No.
See, that's what I thought it was going into it. It's the Big Bang Theory, isn't it? I had no idea till last night.
Yeah.
And how'd you find it? Because I haven't seen the Big Bang Theory at all.
Oh, right. Okay.
Like I've seen, it's been on here and there, because it was in syndication, or it probably still is.
Well, Big Bang Theory is, a sitcom, and I guess most people would use the Big Bang Theory as a test to find out if you should still be friends with that person and what their IQ level is. So if they enjoy that show, you don't hang out with them anymore.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
So that's kind of what the Big Bang Theory is. And Young Sheldon is a prequel to that. So it's the main most annoying character named Sheldon, and it's his childhood.
Yeah. Well, I got to say, I only made it through 1 episode and it bugged the fuck out of me.
Did you? I watched 12 episodes.
Are you serious?
Yes. It hooked me in.
Really?
Yes.
Because I couldn't the narrator's voice grated on me.
Well, that's the actor from the Big Bang Theory.
Oh, that is the Sheldon?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah, right.
Yeah, and I think he's part of the LGBT community, so we have to love him unconditionally.
Well, there's nothing against his, preferences in his lifestyle. I just didn't like the character. I just didn't like the voice. He can do what he wants.
Yeah, I didn't hate it.
No? Oh, look, it was entertaining. Look, there was Young Sheldon.
The next, Emily in Paris.
And
SWAT.
SWAT. And I'd say out of the 3, like I probably enjoyed. Well, Emily in Paris is the one that I watched more of, but that's mainly because it's current.
Yeah.
Like it's not an old form. Like it is. I mean, they might.
Young Sheldon's current.
Yeah, but it's current. But it's playing off on a spin. It's not new. They're playing off already out there IP, and you know what I mean. They're playing off on that. It's like that Yellowstone coming out with a prequel.
Yeah.
It's not like a brand new show. Whereas, Emily in Paris, they might as well just called it Fish Out of Water. Like your name in the show, the situation she's in.
Yeah.
The device kind of, all right, she's a fish out of water over there in Paris. Like they essentially named it that.
Yeah.
But that was the one like they're talking about modern stuff and current stuff. Like I rewatched Seinfeld recently and it was great. But I was just like, oh, wow, some of this has dated.
It didn't pick Seinfeld for us, unfortunately.
What's that? Well, we can't. I'm not really keen on doing shows I've seen or that I know I'd like.
Yeah.
Because then we're just going to be sitting here praising things. I'd rather just either watch things I wouldn't consider or...
Yeah, so I don't think any of these 3 would have been on my list of watching had I not been prompted
Amanda watched Emily in Paris without me.
Really?
And then she was like, I didn't think you'd be into that. And I said, well, I wouldn't have watched it myself.
Yeah. Did she like it?
Yeah, she thought it was cute. Like, it's just cute, But it's very, living overseas. I mean, it's...
Do you know what I hated about it?
What did you hate?
I have such an intolerance for, and this is obviously saying more about me than it is about the show.
Yeah.
But it's when it's a young character who shows the old people that the new way is the best way. And I'm sitting there as a woman who's clearly meant to relate to the older character, being like, "Shut up, you whining little bitch!"
What,
like,
to the old one?
No, to the young one. I'm like, it's I think I know more about marketing because I'm like 20 and I understand social media. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? That's the message.
Well, how old is she meant to be in the show?
I don't know, like 22 something, 25.
Because they have given us some pretty big like moves. She's made some pretty big moves already in the first few episodes.
Yeah.
Like, oh right.
And everything works out great.
Yeah,
and every guy's in love with her.
That client's not leaving now. And
look, she has pretty clothes and Paris is nice, but that's it.
The thing I found most unbelievable was the fact that, oh really, your follower count's climbing that high?
Yeah.
You're just posting photos of you in Paris? Like, she's a nobody.
But she's also a really beautiful woman wearing expensive clothes in
but
Paris.
who cares? Like, if you went to Paris, or if I went to Paris and just started posting photos of me in a suit every day, do you think that all of a sudden after a week I'd have 6,000 followers just from posting everything's coming up roses?
I feel like
that's no different to what people are doing here, and we're actually doing shit. Like,
yeah, but I feel like the internet has different rules for hot people.
not every hot person though. Some of us just don't. No, you know what I mean? No.
Yeah.
I just find that stuff really, it's like, oh really? You know how social media works, and you just give them.
But they do though. Young people do know. They know how it works.
Not every young person.
No, but that's her job. She has a degree in marketing. That was one of the plot points.
Well, maybe if they had something in there, like how she was already an influencer, or she
They did.
Did they?
Yeah.
Or maybe I was making a sandwich in that point.
Oh God, like I can't deal with the idea of an influencer. So like the whole show premise just offended me.
So she was an influencer?
No, I think she was on a journey to become an influencer.
What's the premise of the show then?
So the premise of the show
for
is...
people that haven't...
for people that haven't seen it, sorry, we probably should have started with that before going on a long rant. But anyway.
That's all right. People are saying it.
It's a young girl who goes to Paris because her boss, who's actually qualified to go to Paris and speaks French, gets pregnant. And then obviously because she's pregnant has to give up her job, because that's the moral of the story.
Yeah, women don't get pregnant.
Well, you don't get pregnant if you want a job.
Yeah. No, well, it's either be a mum or work. Yeah.
Yeah, so instead of sending the qualified person who has the education and did the work and learned the language, they send a young upstart whose only qualification is she's kind of perky.
And she's there.
And fun and has these dangerous ideas like puns and all this other horrible shit, but she's hot. So then she goes to Paris, and then Paris is mean to her, and no one's ever been mean to her before. And I think we're supposed to feel sorry for her that Paris is mean to her.
So you didn't like it that much?
I hated it so much. I don't think I've ever hated a show more.
Really?
Yeah.
Why'd you hate it so much?
I don't know. I hated the morals. I hated that it felt like it was being catered to me. And I just felt manipulated and angry.
Yeah, right. I felt that a bit with I mean, this isn't part of the show, but I felt that a bit with Orange is the New Black.
Yeah.
Because I felt like the first season of Orange is the New Black, they didn't know what they had in like it being a show with a majority female cast and a majority female. And then all these articles started coming out about it, how it was great, and like they did it unknowingly. And then the next season they really leaned into it. And then I think it was the second or third episode of the second season. And I think the episode was called Three Holes. And they had this whole conversation. Like the whole episode was like one of the girls didn't realise there was there was 3 holes, you know?
Yeah, right.
Like 2 at the front kind of thing. And the whole episode was about that. And I was like, are you just doing this now because they were never really, I mean, they were women-centric storylines because obviously they're all women, but it's never hitting you over the head with it. It was just a TV show where the majority of the cast happened to be women.
Oh, so you're saying it was influenced by how the media received it?
Yeah. I think once they started go, oh shit, people are really, then they leaned into the fact that it was more of, like it was an all-female, majority female cast, and then they started exploring things down that path more than just as opposed to really like, this is what it is.
Yeah.
You know?
You think Emily in Paris was doing that? Or?
No, I think that was a show that pissed me off the same way. Like, pissed you off. Because
also,
it
it's ageist.
Is it?
Yeah. It's ageist in the way shows from the 90s are sexist.
Oh, okay. And what, against the old
every young person is fun and understanding and kind, and every old person is bitter and angry and doesn't want to change.
I was surprised there wasn't more of a backlash on the vagina thing.
Yeah.
Like, wasn't that the...
Like using the word vagina?
No, the spray.
Oh, yeah.
About that young vagina.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because women, when they're old, they can't have sex anymore.
No, but it was a whole thing about the scent too, wasn't there?
No, it was about the moisture.
Was it the moisture?
Yeah, it was a product to make women's vaginas, when they're older, moist.
Oh, was it okay.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it just felt like the whole thing was written by a 20-year-old who went to uni and had rich parents and has never had a real job.
Well, it probably is. I mean, it was made by a dude. Like, it was written by a dude. Like, I saw that in there, like on the credits.
That's even worse.
I was watching it thinking, how did he pitch this? And then my head's going, was this some dude that was trying to pick someone up and wanted a trip to Paris? And he's like, I'm going to write a show about it. Just this
Also
elaborate.
felt like they'd never been to Paris.
They probably haven't.
Yeah.
Like, they probably... All right, do you think they were French actors or American French people?
I think both.
Yeah.
I think it was a combination. It wasn't like the accents that offended me. I don't know enough. I don't have a strong enough ear to know whether the accents
and I don't know if...
solid or not. But
French actors, except for Gerard Depardieu.
Ah, classic.
And I only know that because of he. He's got... It's something like a hello or how you going. Something... I don't know. I can't remember it. I can't do it justice. Gerard Depardieu. So stupid. Yeah. So, wow, that one sounds like you really didn't enjoy that, huh?
Nah.
And how many did you watch?
I watched 8 episodes.
8 episodes of that.
Yeah.
I think I made it up to 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did like the kid. And she's just, that dude that turns out he's got a girlfriend as well, because all French people are obviously...
Yeah.
You know,
Scum.
philanderers.
Yeah.
They all have affairs and,
Yeah.
you haven't had a real affair. You haven't been in Paris, so you've had at least one dirty affair.
That's right. And they didn't value America, and America's the best country in the world.
Well, I mean, that's the subtext of every TV show.
Yeah, that part didn't bother me as much as the ageism.
Really?
But that's because I'm not French. I'm old.
Isn't it funny what pisses you off in TV, though? Because, I always get annoyed. I mean, it annoyed me when Brooklyn Nine-Nine did it, and I love that show, when there was the Gina episode when they were on the night shift and all of a sudden she was tweeting with Australia. And every time they reference Australia, there's always a crikey or a fucking drongo
Yeah.
or something. It's like, do you have any references of Australia
No.
since the 80s? Or are we still on Crocodile Dundee and, But I mean, that stuff's kind of always flown over there, there is a real segregation with the way even their shows have always been, here's the black show, here's the Jewish show, here's the Italian show.
Yeah.
It's only, Modern Family, was that the first one that had and the fact that they even called it Modern Family.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean?
It's warning.
What's it about? It's going to be about a modern family. Well, maybe we should just call it Modern Family because, one of them's, 2 of them are gay and, there's an immigrant. One of them's really old.
Yeah, in their defense, though, as we found out trying to name this podcast, naming things is really hard.
Well, that's true too. A lot of the names are gone.
They're already used. They're already shows.
And this is more like a gambling thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, one episode in. I don't know. I actually thought it was all right. Not good, but out of the 3, it was probably be the one that I'd finish.
Oh.
Like Young Sheldon, I was just like, nah, no way. I'm not interested.
Do you know what else? I could just picture 22-year-olds watching that show being enabled by that behaviour and learning the wrong values.
What, the women or the men?
Women.
So what do you think they're learning to...
You should be precocious and obnoxious. You are right. Old people know nothing. You can't learn anything from them. Keep doing what you're doing and believe in your dreams because getting a real job doesn't matter.
What's wrong with that message?
I hate it. I hate everything about it.
I'm kidding. It's terrible. That's how we've got to hold. But, it is good for people to pursue things.
Yeah.
But then, you need a level of self-awareness.
And you've got to do some work.
Yeah.
She doesn't do any work.
Well, that's true. She does have very long lunches.
Yeah.
And she does manage to put out a lot of fires. Mm-hmm. Even the fact that she managed to just...
And her first idea is the best idea.
Oh, and just throwing a boss an idea here you go.
Yeah.
But then it's TV, right? You've got to have some kind of...
I know, but I didn't like it.
That's fair enough. That's fair. That's why we're here, right? That's why we're here.
I didn't like it in a really kind of guttural, it sat uncomfortably with me kind of way.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, you probably looked into it a lot deeper than I did. I was just looking at it on the surface.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
But now that you mention it. Yeah. And you didn't like SWAT either.
Well, SWAT
Well, what's SWAT about first?
Okay, so I'm not really sure.
Okay.
Other than it's about a SWAT team.
Yeah, that's the impression I got.
I feel like there's no other plot.
It was like just a massive testosterone fest, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it was,
how far did you get?
I plugged my way through 3.5 episodes, but it was work.
Oh yeah, so we did about the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Oh my gosh.
I think my favourite bit was the one it was in the first episode when they were there was some fight and a shootout or whatever, and there was a 3-2-1 countdown.
Yeah.
And they had 3 people to snipe, but there was only 2 of them ready because one guy was still in a fist fight. And it's like, we need to take this shot on 3. And he's like, I'll be there. And then it's like 1, 2. And then he just punches the other guy in the face and it's 3. And then you see all 3 of the bodies drop.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Look, in the defense of the show, I watched it on my laptop. I feel like that's not what this show was designed for. I feel like it was designed to watch on a really big screen in some kind of man cave that you hide from your wife, and you've spent too much on the television and you're hiding that from your wife as well.
Yeah, but what's going to make like that? No, that's good for it is an action show, but that's good for action and big movies and stuff. Like, I don't feel like a TV show that has.
Yeah, but you wouldn't watch this on your phone because it's got no plot.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. It's just explosions and
Like, it's not really designed for the
the
medium.
The 2 SWAT teams, and like the 2 enemy SWAT teams, not enemies, but there's that
Yeah.
little bit of we're going to do a better job than you. A little bit of tension between the 2 units.
Yeah, and then it also sort of at some points tried to get political, which I thought was a weird choice.
Well, I find that's what they're all trying to do now. Like every show, and Emily in Paris it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Like that's why when you watch the shows, but then is that just a reflection of the times? Because like if we look back on these in 20 years' time now, like shows that we love from now, well, we'd be going, oh my God, they really fucking hit us over the head with, like, how obvious is that?
Well, it's obvious now.
No, it is, but it's also current now, so it just feels like
That's true.
But whereas when it becomes a way that just like people are acting and thinking without the constant reminders,
Yeah.
like, are we going to look back and go, do we really need to do that for 30 years just to make people understand that it's not okay to be racist? Do we really need to bang that message in television for 30 years,
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
So what's the premise of SWAT anyway? What does it say on there?
Well, it's not even on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I did find the show's official website.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really, about.
Because I don't even know who made it. SWAT, that one. What network is it? Go, what do you got?
Oh, so it's actually based on a 70s TV show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, right. So it's a
Yeah.
action fiction. CBS. There you go.
Yeah. So that's where they got the idea.
Well, anyway, the idea of the show is it's a SWAT team and things come up and they need to get swatted.
And it's got every cliche you can imagine. It's got like they're all very good looking.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Chiseled abs.
And it's got the guy who was overlooked for the promotion and the guy who got the role and is the love interest.
Hondo.
Hondo. Which I can't even say.
The love interest of she's the captain or something, isn't she? She's
and Hondo just is always doing it. Do you know what? Hondo, the character of Hondo is played by the actor. Hang on. I don't know. I should look that up. But it was such a love fest about him and how he was such a good guy and was always doing the right thing that I checked to see if he had a producer credit, and he does.
Oh, really? Yeah, right. Why is he? Why did you check it?
Because it had like a vanity project vibe, and I'm like, did this guy pitch this?
Oh,
like,
really?
So I play this amazing guy, and he's like really buff and hot, and all the women love him, but he's also like really caring, and he gets in fights but always wins, and like has great camaraderie with the squad, but is also the boss of them.
Yeah. And it's his show.
And it's like
he's one of the producers.
One of the producers.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
But is that also because he's the star? Because I know sometimes they just give people a producer credit.
I mean, it could be innocent, but like, I don't know. It was so yucky. And the women don't have any personalities, but in fairness, the men don't really either. And there's also the guy in there who's like the young guy who's like, I don't follow the rules.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then
What's
gets
his name?
in trouble.
Street or whatever. He looks like a little Tom Cruise.
Jim Street, the team's cocky newest member.
Yeah, he's meant to be like a little Mel Gibson. I show up on game day.
Yeah. That's an exact quote.
Yeah, it is.
It's just like I couldn't even watch it in the background. It was so just bad. But
Well, the funny thing is about it all, like I was like, all right, if I had to put on an episode of brainless TV,
yeah,
like that'd be the one.
yeah.
Like that to me would be like watching I should probably talk to Andrew Hastings about this, but like wrestling. If it's like 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And I don't want to watch anything that's going to have to make me concentrate.
You just want noise.
And it's something I can fall asleep to.
Yeah.
Like it's like, all right, a couple of explosions, some action.
That's true.
Then conk out. But it's nothing that you go, oh my God, this is groundbreaking.
No, it's worse than not that. It's like lower than that. It's like, mate, I feel dumber for having consumed it. But it's like, it's one of those, if you have it on autoplay and you fall asleep and miss 10 episodes, you don't have to like, oh no, I better check where I was up to.
Well, it's a procedural, right?
You won't notice.
Like your Law and Orders, and you can just kind of dip in at a season and go, all right, what are we up to now?
Yeah. So I hated SWAT.
Didn't like Emily in Paris.
Didn't like Emily in Paris. There was a really funny bit on this website. I don't know if you'll find this funny, but I found it funny. They've got little articles. It's like SWAT news. And one of them is how SWAT accurately depicts real life conflicts between agencies.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that sounds cool. So they've done some research. So I read that article and it said, in order to get the perfect shot, the crew filmed the episode's first chase scene in 4 takes. In order to conserve the actor's energy, they blocked and rehearsed the scene with stunt doubles first. I'm like, yeah, that is just like being on a real SWAT team.
Yeah. They always have stunt doubles.
They get the stunt doubles first and then the actors come in and conserve their energy.
Yeah, and then make sure, all right, so this is where we've got to kick the door to make sure it goes down. And
yeah. So, well done.
Well,
you know that it's just like real life.
Well, I suppose that's the thing with the States and their entertainment being so big. If you're a cop or whatever, and like a TV show wants a consultant.
What'd you say?
Like if in the States with maybe they do it here, I don't know. But like I know The Wire, like there were cops. Like,
consulting.
No, like ended up writing. Like it was a homicide. One of the main writers was an ex-homicide detective. Like all the police stuff in that.
Oh, right, yeah.
Like all the police stuff in that or a lot of it was stuff that actually would be done, But like I know a lot of shows are like, all right, well, it's a medical show, so we need...
Yeah.
And then they pay an anaesthetist that's not how it had happened, it'd be this, or, like...
Consultant.
Just to make it a little bit more accurate.
Yeah, I don't think this one did that. Or maybe they did, but everyone on SWAT teams has a really bad head injury.
Maybe.
It's like if you got NRL players to describe football, it's like you're not going to get that much information out of them, even if they technically have the information.
So what would have made Emily in Paris better for you then? How could they have realised?
Maybe if a SWAT team came in and blew up the office.
SWAT in Paris.
And she had to actually do something.
No, she does it. She eats pastries. She buys roses for a boss that doesn't like her.
She's an influencer. Do you not get it? She's really important.
I just love in TV shows when they just happen to be walking past the right place at the right time. Like there's one episode where she just walks, just as she'd done something great for the firm.
Yeah.
She walked past a restaurant where they were all eating.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, come in and join us.
Oh, that was the other thing. She met every love interest and friend because she was being ditzy and stupid.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So she was actually being rewarded for being dumb.
Well, you really fucking looked into this, didn't you?
I didn't.
I was just general impressioning them. It's like, all right.
This is my general impression. It was that I found it so offensive that I had to look inwards to work out why. That's why.
Really?
Yeah.
Really.
It's not like I sat there and did some like work on it and thought of like critical analysis. It's like, this is making me angry. I need to process this anger.
I definitely feel like this podcast is going to go better if we end up with shows we don't enjoy.
Yeah, I think so.
Just based on how you were talking today.
But also, like, we've also screwed our algorithm because we picked 3 terrible shows. So I feel like we're only going to get pitched.
Good. I want
terrible
some bloody
shows.
reality below decks and, selling sunsets.
Yeah.
I want some trash.
Well, do you know what? I didn't hate Young Sheldon. I thought it was really well written.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I feel like it kept me entertained. I thought it was, I I thought the characters were, while very basic, well portrayed by the actors. They were charming. And I thought that the pacing of it was excellent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a pretty good take.
I know.
I mean, look, to be honest with you, like they all tick the boxes of the TV structure.
Yeah.
So, and then I guess it just comes down to, I didn't look that deeply into any of them. I was just like, could I watch this? Yes or no? And and like Sheldon, the voice was enough. But like, I think all the shows like had all the, they had all the characters and the scripts, and the lights were definitely there.
Yeah.
Something just must have fallen apart. And
Well, it's interesting.
but it's funny that you have Big Bang Theory, but you're like,
I think it's just the again, how you said his voice is annoying. It's the laugh track is really grating for me.
Yeah, right.
That's like a generational thing.
It's funny how you notice those things now,
Yeah.
though, isn't it? Or if there's one and it's like, oh, we're doing this. Like we watched one, called The Upshaws on Netflix.
The Upshaws.
Yeah, it's just there was a 1 or 2 season black sitcom. Like, I think it's newer, but it's definitely like laugh tracky and it's Wanda Sykes.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Wanda Sykes is in it. That's why we watched it.
Yeah.
But I think it might have been like on a classic format, so it had the laugh track and all that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
it was like we liked it, but it was like, oh wow, this does feel
So weird.
Yeah.
I can't remember who told me this, but someone said that their friend loved The Big Bang Theory, and they tried to show them The Big Bang Theory without the laugh track to show them how bad it was, and they were watching it and they were just laughing where the laugh track should have been.
Oh really? I mean, it does seem weird.
Like, that's
though.
so funny.
I feel like the only TV show that ever had a laugh track that you could tell that I've seen was Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Well, like when it hit its peak of popularity, because there were definitely moments where, like when Kramer did an entrance.
Oh, yeah.
And you could hear a round of applause about to break.
Yeah.
And I've watched all the DVD commentaries and stuff and all the special features, and there's all these notes, and it'd be like, oh yeah, Larry David was off to the side, like telling the crowd, asking the crowd to
Not laugh as
like
much.
not give as much because it was just eating so much time. Like, so they'd have to squash rounds of applause when Kramer came in and all that stuff.
Wow, what a good problem to have.
Oh, what a great problem to have.
Yeah.
As opposed to getting a warm-up guy running around throwing out fucking fun-sized chocolate bars to keep people in a good mood.
That used to be one of my jobs. Not the warm-up guy, but I had to feed the audience.
Warm-up
and
person
keep them watered.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that sometimes goes to the warm-up person as well.
Yeah, well, I guess it was the voice.
Yeah, right.
And So You Think You Can Dance
Okay.
at Fox Studios. And
Yeah.
I was in charge of like one section because it was huge audiences.
Yeah.
And it was a funnest job because the audience was really excited, but also an odd group of people. Because like, imagine that you're the kind of person that's like, I want to spend my day watching one of those shows. Like, first of all, so it's like you don't have a lot on, or I don't know, you've got kids, I don't know, but you come to it and it's weird, and then you get there and then you don't realize it's actually like a 7-hour day.
Yeah, that's a lot,
And
isn't it?
they're not allowed to leave when they want. They have to stay there.
Oh, yeah, they're
They're not
trapped.
allowed to talk.
And it's brutal for the warm-up person.
And they're not allowed to sit in the front if they're not pretty enough. So we
Yeah,
had this
yeah,
thing
yeah.
called PPs, which meant pretty people. And I'd get a call on the radio being like, you need to move the people behind the judges. And I'd have to be like, come up with some excuse why they had to leave. And just be like, oh, I'm really sorry. Your shirt's actually clashing with what Kylie's going to wear. So we're going to have to move.
Oh, really? Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah. Well, it's better than the truth, which is, hi, you're too ugly for television. You need to leave.
What if you did it as the truth, but like you're just the messenger? Like, excuse me, but like this is TV. This isn't for me. I think you're stunning, but my boss thinks you're too fat, and it's gonna.
That's probably more noble. But then I've got 8 hours to keep that person happy as well.
That's true. Or we'll just give
With
them a
like
sandwich.
stale chips and a popper.
Yeah, that's true. It's I don't know, those warm-up jobs though. I mean, we know some people that do like the full days on
I
there.
don't
And I've done it on
envy them.
I've done it on a couple of shows.
Oh yeah, what's it like?
Oh, it's like I've filled in. The best one I did was Nazim's TV show because
Yeah.
they were set up like a comedy crowd and they
Yeah,
were there for
yeah.
a comedy show.
Yeah.
Whereas the other one I did was some Thursday Night Live thing on Sky.
Oof.
And like there was a comedian coming on later and I got heckled with, "Where's the comedian?" It's like, I am one.
Brutal.
But yeah, who knows? Yeah, right. So that's interesting. Wow, you got a much more passionate take on these than I do.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I get angry. I can go from 0 to 100 pretty quickly.
Yeah, I can too. But with these, I was just like, oh, it's work. And if it was bad, I was almost enjoy it. Like, I want to enjoy how bad that, you know what I mean? I'm in that. Not work, but I'm looking at this like this is just okay.
Yeah. Well, I've been trying to value my time, like my downtime. And so I was trying to approach it like should be pleasurable for me. And if it's not, why not?
Yeah, but then it's also like something you're doing for your career, right?
Oh, yeah. But
Like
if you think about it like that, then I'm going to be a lot softer on it, you know.
If you want to just sit around and
like,
do
I don't
nothing.
talk to bookers the way I want to.
Yeah. I don't know. I just like the idea of doing something and it's like, well, I'm watching TV anyway. I might as well.
Yeah, definitely. But it's good.
Yeah. And if I think of like, oh, yeah, I really liked it. Okay, episode over. I like this. I'm going to start praying that it spits out
I'll
shit
keep
shows.
watching Young Sheldon.
Really?
For real.
I know that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, I know that's going to happen. Like, what are the 3 we've got for next week? Hang on, let me dig that out. Because I already saw that and on the list and I went, I'll probably watch more of that one.
Yeah.
There's a lot of seasons. Where the hell? Fuck, I'm looking at the wrong messages. There we go.
Oh, I was going to say about the 3 shows we picked that they're certainly not controversial in any way.
What, this time around?
Yeah. So they're all very like formulaic and, trying to keep everyone happy, trying to appeal to everybody, not offensive. There's no swearing. It's all of those things. But then I realized looking at some of the reviews on the shows that the danger of presenting as family friendly and non like edgy is that people will still find something. So I don't know if you watched enough Young Sheldon, but they've got one about religion and he says he doesn't believe in God.
Oh, yeah.
And that has blown up. There's so many people like giving it like 1-star reviews being like, I loved The Big Bang Theory and I came to watch this show and was deeply offended that a character who's playing a scientist doesn't believe in God.
People are... have you seen the Janet Jackson thing?
What, Janet? Oh, yeah.
We watched all of that last night.
Yeah, it's great.
That was really good. But there was something in that just made me... Oh, the nipple thing.
Yeah.
At the Super Bowl. It's like, really? She wasn't invited to a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame thing. And like there was all... I mean, obviously the Michael stuff had a lot to do with it too. And they just wanted to make it like she never existed. But it's like, really? Someone... like...
But if you remember at the time, that was huge.
But it's a nipple. On TV.
Yeah.
And I know we've got social media now and people just post that stuff online.
And I was
themselves.
like, I can't believe she did that. What an annoying bitch.
Yeah,
like,
but what would you be like now?
Now, obviously, very different.
Yeah, but do you think that's also because of the way society told us we should react back then?
Yeah, but I'm admitting that was my reaction.
Yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure mine back at the time was, oh, fuck, where's that footage? I got to say, even though that show wasn't on our list this week, it was... we watched all 4 of them in one go.
So good.
I had no idea that she was... I mean, a lot of the songs, I knew them when I heard them, but I was like, I didn't even know that was...
Oh, right. Yeah,
that was her.
Yeah.
She was always kind of in the shadows of... I fucking love Tito's voice, though. The older brother.
Yeah.
Like, he's got that real deep, no, Mark. Fucking great. Yeah. Yeah, so what, you don't think you're going to keep on going with SWAT then?
I don't think I'm going to keep going with SWAT. I don't think I would even watch SWAT if I was trying to hook up with a really hot guy who was obsessed with SWAT. That's how much I didn't like it.
Really?
Yeah.
You couldn't even humour someone?
If he was like, I love SWAT, let's go back to my place and watch it, and he had like a mansion and a 6-pack and was like gorgeous, I'd be like, I'm really sorry, it's a no.
Really? I don't believe that. What if there were other things? What if that was the only bad thing about it? What if everything else was... You know, he had the same.
Look, I don't care what he watches. I just don't need him to tell me about it. Like, once I know, I can't unknow that information.
What if he's just got SWAT posters on his walls and he's got a Hondo goatee?
That's a no. That's an absolute no.
Yeah, right.
Run away.
Yeah, I mean, that one was just like, that one obviously was the most formulaic out of all of them. Because that one's like, all right, all we need is a crack unit.
Yeah.
You know, all right, what is it? Because
it also looked like the most expensive.
Do you know what I realised?
It probably wasn't. Emily in Paris probably cost more.
What did we... Yeah, fuck yeah. What did we... Oh, we watched Succession recently. Have you seen that?
That's brilliant.
Oh, isn't Greg the kind of guy that just looks like he'd swallow his own load?
Yeah.
As soon as he did that, I was like, yeah, that's the perfect way to describe you.
Yeah.
But they,
There's just such great shows at the moment.
but do you find that,
And we're choosing to watch the hideous ones.
but of all the good shows out there, like you pick all the great dramas, like the main common thread between all of them is big money.
Yeah.
And the thing in between is always, is it drugs? Is it money laundering? Is it the mafia? Is it, you know what, is it advertising? Is it, like most of these big shows, it's always, like it's always the power and the money. Like that's such a big central part of the plot of all of them.
Because it's aspirational.
Yeah, no, I know. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know, but it's...
But these are aspirational too. The 3 shows we watched are aspirational because you've got the kid that's a genius and smarter than everybody else. That's aspirational.
Yeah, but they're also taking different... Yeah, but it's not the same motivation for the end goal.
And then you've got the buff guys that can win in every fight in SWAT. That's aspirational. And then you've got some hot chick going to Paris and being admired by everybody for being brilliant. Like...
That's aspirational.
They're
yeah,
all
no,
aspirational.
but I meant like the...
So just having that, I mean, I guess that's just part of... I don't know, like, why do you watch a show?
No, but I meant the money is the big thing that raises the stakes in so many high dramas.
Oh, specifically money?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
That's what I meant. You know what I mean? Like if you watch a lot of the big dramas, like money is the big...
Yeah.
Or it's tied over in a lot of them.
I always wondered if, like... Because you know how the values in a lot of very successful shows are very dodgy?
Yeah.
I always wonder, is that because the writers who are successful have a bit of psychopathy and so what they're creating has a nasty edge? Or is it that we actually genuinely like that kind of content more?
I think it's probably both. I think it's probably 6 of one and half a dozen of the other.
But what if, like, there's incredible... this is going to sound so lame. What if there's, like, incredible TV shows out there that are written by someone who's quite self-deprecating and soft and kind, and they're brilliant, but that person's never going to push and get a show made because they don't have the everything's balls, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, because they won't. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're just, as a society, slowly getting more and more aggressive and angry because what we're consuming is
probably
what successful people are creating.
Probably.
Yeah.
I feel like Succession, you don't like any of them.
Yeah, but that's the point, right?
No, I know, but it's amazing that you can sit there
But
and watch the
Wire's
whole
the same.
thing. The Wire?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I like a lot of them in The Wire.
Yeah, but you also, like, wouldn't, you know...
Wouldn't what?
I don't know. You wouldn't lend them money.
Oh, mate, yeah, probably not.
You wouldn't let them crash at your house.
No, but like the characters, like...
I wouldn't let them use my bathroom.
One of the people with the biggest body count in The Wire was one of my favourite characters purely because of his loyalty.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he had the most amount of bodies on him and like he's still in prison at the end of the show, but he's like, he was so, like, yeah, it was weird. And there was one with Stringer Bell and Avon, and Avon says to him the difference between, you bleed green, I bleed red. And I always liked Avon more than Stringer. And then when he said that, I was like, oh, that's why. Because Stringer's just a fucking businessman. And Avon's like...
passionate.
And he's just a street guy. He is who he is. He's like, this is who I am. The game's a game.
But that's why they're good shows, because the heroes are flawed and the villains
have redeeming features.
Yeah. That's why it's good.
It's been a minute since I've done a podcast, and here we are talking about The Wire again.
I know. And The Sopranos is good too. What other hot takes have we got?
Oh, maybe they'll come up one week. What did you think of the ending? Now, what are our shows for next week? We've got Blind Spot. I have no idea what that's about.
I have no idea either.
Mum, which I have seen an episode of on a plane.
Yes.
That's the sitcom.
Yeah.
That's probably the one I would continue with.
Okay.
And
I believe that one has a laugh track from memory.
Yeah, it does. And Chicago Med.
Oof. Okay.
Which I'm not looking forward to because one of my friends in the dog park, she'd been watching Chicago Fire. And she was telling me how good it was, and she recommended it to me, and I was like, "Oh yeah," and I put it on. Yeah. And I just watched one episode, and I said, "Is that just a bunch of good-looking beefcakes running around putting out fires?" She's like, "Pretty much." Like, yeah, but they have crossovers with the other shows. Like, there's the Chicago Fire.
I hate when they do that.
And the Chicago PD.
I hate when they do that.
So the characters have popped up in other ones, but let's save that. for next week.
Oh, good.
Show.
Well,
so that's good, though. At least we're going to have another show that's
I don't think I've
different.
ever watched anything with the word Chicago in the title. So,
Really?
Yeah.
This is maybe we should have called this thing Steph Gets Wound Up at TV shows that don't matter.
I would argue it does matter.
Well, it does matter, especially when you're spending your time on it.
But you can't help but take it personally as someone who identifies as a creative.
What if someone criticises it?
No, like when creative content that's being funded and created is terrible.
Oh, yeah, no, of
You
course
take
not.
it personally.
Yeah, oh yeah, because you didn't get the funding.
Well, I didn't ask for it. It's my bad.
Oh, I
Also,
could
I
have
didn't
made-
write a show. Like, I'm not suggesting I should get it, but you can't help but sort of take that a little bit personally. It's like this is what you're making.
What am I?
This is what the money is being spent on.
Dave Jory before he when all the what's his face from Summer High Tie.
Oh, Chris Lilly.
Yeah, all the backlash.
Yes.
Every time he does something new, I think it was the last time he put something out. Like Jory just said to me, "Oh man, again." He goes, "I could make something just as tone deaf for half the price." Why do they keep giving things to people they know? Give it to me. That was such a good line. Just as tone deaf for half the price.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So yeah, we're here now, aren't we? We're doing this thing.
Yeah.
What's our plan moving forward, so people know what they can expect from us? This is just our first intro episode as we find our feet, and
Yeah, well, I mean, we don't really have a plan other than to do.
fuck, we've got to make
We've
it sound
made a
like we do.
commitment.
We do have a
We've
plan.
committed to this.
There's going to be a weekly episode. We've got all our
Yep.
socials up and happening already. What are
We're
the social
planning
media?
to watch 3 shows per episode.
3 shows. We're going to, not the entire show, just to be clear, because
Just
there's that
enough.
Asian. Just enough to get a taste for it, find out what it's about, and if we like it, we'll keep going, and if not, we'll bail out, and they'll probably be the ones that we're most passionate about, like Steph here. But other than that, we are moving on this. We're on Instagram at stream_roulette_pod.
Yep.
Stream Roulette Podcast on Facebook, and just stream_roulette on the old Twitter. And then there's also mine and Steph's socials too,
Yep.
which you can just type in Daniel Towns or Steph Broadbridge.
Yeah, you'll find us.
On next week, we'll be
We're
prepared
doing
to
other stuff.
plug those as well, maybe next time. But if you have been listening, what do you reckon? You got anything else to say, or should we wrap this
I'm done.
first episode now?
I'm all fired up, ready for the day to be mad about shit.
I'm mad about shows that don't matter. All right. Well, what else do we have to? What else do people do for podcasts? Thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you.
If you have been listening,
Thanks for taking a risk.
to all our peers that are checking out the first episode.
Yeah,
just to
hello
see what we're
to
doing.
all of the open micers who hate me.
Do your own fucking podcast. Thank you, and we'll be. Hang on, I had something else to add at the end. We're doing the shows. Moving forward. Oh yeah, we're going to do a Patreon thing too, where we're going to have bonus episodes and all that stuff, aren't we?
Yep.
So we're going to figure out what they're going to be. They're going to be something.
Name and idea TBD.
Yeah, no, but they'll be coming soon too. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was going to say. And if you liked it, don't forget to subscribe
Yes.
and leave us a review.
A
on
nice one,
iTunes.
please.
Whatever. Just say whatever.
No. I'd like a nice one.
Oh really? What
Yeah.
if, what if they wrote something like how you just attacked the shows we watched?
Then they're not listening.
As a creative, Stephanie should.
I'm deeply offended.
She should understand.
Oh, like say whatever you want, but like give it like all the stars and shit, you know.
Yeah, but just be
5
honest.
stars to say something mean.
5 stars to say something mean.
It costs 5 stars to say something mean.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, I guess I'll see. We'll be back next week
Yeah.
with more of Steph's hot takes on all these shows we've been watching. And yeah, thanks for listening.
All right, bye.
See you.